BROOKLYN, 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 BROOK. We well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. By the way, okay, we well. BROOKLYN.
Yo, yo, it's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. And I don't know, man. The way the modern NBA is, if the sixth man is a guard, a two guard, that's dope. I just wouldn't be subbing Cam Thomas out. Even if he is the sixth man, I ain't subbing. Cam Thomas could never be the first sub out. That is ridiculous. It had to be somebody else. I don't know who. But it wouldn't be Cam Thomas, that's for sure. You know. One of the most important things that Nets fans need to know about watching Nets basketball is us in the first quarter. Historically, we are down. We go into the second quarter without the lead, trailing by a little bit or a lot. But either way, we ain't got the lead going into the second quarter. That's what the Nets are notoriously known for. I think Drake Powell can change that. Excuse me. That's why I want him to be the sixth man. Excuse me. But Drake Powell in a situation where he's the sixth man before Ben Sarath, before Nolan Traore, before all of these players that could be in the rotation. Not to say that they don't deserve it. I think Daron Sharp deserves it over Drake Powell. But if you're going to invest in the rookies, invest in the rookies. You know, do it immediately. Put them out there. See what they're gonna do. You know, see if they're gonna hoop. See how well they play. You know, Drake Powell, he get in the way of the offense. He get in the way of the opponent's offense. You know what I'm saying? Deflecting passes out of bounds. You know what I mean? Extra shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the best thing to do is, you know, hold Jordy Fernandez and Sean Marks accountable when they come down to them actually playing these rookies. You put Drake Powell as the sixth man. Yeah, over Danny Wolf. I know Jordy Fernandez like Danny Wolf, but Jordy Fernandez, trust me, I implore you. Drake Powell, DP, man. You might give him a nickname and all that. I believe the hype. I seen a little bit that I seen the plus minus. I seen him on the floor. I see what he do. I like his game. He's a POA defender. I always said we needed a POA defender, but he's a POA defender that get his name off of being a POA defender. He makes scoring his secondary part of his game. Drake Powell, next to Cam Thomas, we got a player who prioritizes defense first, and then Drake Powell, and you got Cam Thomas who prioritizes offense because he does scoring and playmaking. You feel what I'm saying? They will be good teammates. You know, they would Cam Thomas and Drake Powell, you could put them on the floor at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know. That's that. That's how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll come into fruition. Hopefully the AI clip that part up. You know what I mean? Send it to the Nets. You know what I'm saying? See what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Nets fans. We the best fans. Gotta give a special shout out, special thank you to the members of the page. Maria Signal Moore, Jelio, Marcus, Nets DNA, and Joey BK. Oh, shout out to Big Tone in the chat. Word. Yeah. I was looking at your channel earlier too. Word, shout out to Big Tone, man. The Miami Heat fan. He a dope content creator, know what I'm saying? I don't know if he still got that intro song. That shit was tough. Shout to LM, Brooklyn LM in the chat. W chat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, LM, I was just saying that Drake Powell should be the sixth man. But Big Tone, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Y'all got a good player in Khalil Witt. That dude is nice. Y'all got a good situation. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Him and Bam gonna be tough. Y'all getting slept on because y'all ain't got no scoring point guard. It is what it is for real. I mean, y'all got Terry Rozier, I guess. I mean, nobody ain't scared of Terry. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't think he finna shake the steam. You know what I mean? We ain't jacking none of that. But y'all got a good player in Khalil Witt, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, Big Tone. That's a whole fact. Or shout out to Scott in the chat. Shout out to the Ruler FN. He said, you remember? Hold on, let me put it on the screen. The Ruler FN, he said, you remember when I said both Martin and Wilson getting a contract? I'm about to make this a short show. For you know what I'm saying? You know how I go, you know what I mean? Had to do the 1-2, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, you know what I mean? I apologize. But yeah, man. Uh, um, I don't know. Should I make this a short show or not? I just kind of wanted to talk my shit about Drake Powell. Yeah, I kind of wanted to say I heard some wild shit on Twitter, but it's man shit. I don't know if I want to go for it, but I definitely wanted to talk to you about Drake Powell. You know what I'm saying? On some Nets fan shit. I seen Chris Braun got 125 mil for 5 years. I said he nice like that. I said, word? That's how they giving it up? I seen KD, he made the most money in the NBA ever. I said, damn, KD, I didn't know you big dog like that. KD getting to the paper. KD be he do be hoop. Let's see what happened with Shams today. Pacers extend Aaron Neesmith on a 2-year, $40 million deal ahead of midnight Monday deadline. Woo. Monday, today was the deadline. They got it done. Shit, it's 10 minutes left. Who want to do business? Yeah, they need to sign Cam Thomas in this last 10 minutes, man. You're 5 years. Aaron Neesmith getting money. Drake Powell mind y'all Aaron Neesmith? Does Drake Powell mind y'all Aaron Neesmith? Talk to me, chat. That's good, chat. Y'all want to talk to me? I just want to come on the panel? I got you, chat. I'm going to throw the link in chat. Hold on. What up, Player One? I know Player One be a Knicks fan sometime, but I think I got to make Player One a moderator. Player One. What's the word, Player One? Aaron Neesmith getting the bag, man. 2 years, 40 mil. Probably somewhere celebrating right now. Salute. Mm-hmm. The Pacers lock in one of their best defenders after a playoff run in which Neesmith started all 23 games on the run to the finals and shot 49.2% on three-pointers, the best by any player in a single postseason with at least 100 threes attempted in NBA history per ESPN research. Oh, yeah, you signing him. Indiana Pacer forward Aaron Neesmith has agreed to a 2-year, $40.4 million contract extension with the franchise through the 2028-2029 season, plus a trade kicker. Agent Mike Lindman of Excel Sports Management tells ESPN Pacers give Neesmith the max allowed salary via extension. Got the max. Whatever he wanted with that to the max. I respect it. I respect it. What else happened? The Milwaukee Bucks are waiving Chris Livingston. Who is Chris Livingston? Sources tell ESPN Livingston, the last pick in the 2023 NBA draft, signed a guaranteed deal in the offseason with the Bucks, going to miss a crunch for their final 15-man roster. Dyson Daniels breaking. Atlanta Hawks all defensive guard Dyson Daniels has agreed to a 4-year, $100 million rookie contract with the franchise, sources told Shams. What? They got it raining money. Raining. Bruh. Atlanta Hawks is trying to win a championship. Everybody talk about the top teams. Nobody mentioned Atlanta. Trae Young and Dyson Daniels in the backcourt is tough. Oh, man. Scott said Drake is Neesmith 2.0. That's a fact. That's a fact. I don't know, man. Let me throw the link in the chat, see how y'all feel about it. But I know I'm gonna make this a short show. What? ESPN story of the Denver Nuggets is starting shooting guard Christian Braun reaching a 5-year, $125 million. $125 million. Denver Nuggets guard Christian Braun has agreed. What did he agree to? What did he agree to? Hold up. That wasn't a rumor. That was 125. What? What does he do? Does he do the other things that much that he deserve 125 million? He deserved to get paid more than Cam Thomas? What? Nah, man. LM said Trey can be better than Neesmith. All right, I'm with you. I like that. Oh, my goodness. Christian Braun, shout to you. I don't know who you know, who your agents. Yo, what? This guy does great business. I want to know who was his sports agent. Because this guy could sell a ketchup pot to a lady in all white. I said, Christian Braun agent can sell a ketchup pot to a lady with white gloves. Oh my goodness. We'll get you 100. I'm about to work out. Fuck that. I'm about to end the show. If he could get that, nah, I ain't that good. Nah. Christian Braun that nice. What? He does the other things that much that he did 125 million? Oh my goodness. I gotta see it on my own. Nah. What'd he do? He averaged 15 points, 5 rebounds. I'm weak. This shit is... Lord forgive me. Yo, listen, I'm not hating on this man. I just don't see how he in the plan. They cannot trade him. Who, like, nobody's... One thing that I say will stand out for him is health. 76 games played, 82 games played, 79 games played. I give him that. He just got in the starting lineup last season. Excuse me. And he get 120. It's not about the money. I'm just saying, player A could score 24 points and player B score 15. It's just the math. Whatever. Say whatever you want to say. Hey, I look at it for what it is. It's all content. Dyson Daniels, I think he like 6'7". LM said 6'7". All right, so yeah, he answered that question good. But all right, I had to see for myself what this guy actually does, man. Let me see what else happened with Shams. Season starting tomorrow. I think Houston played. This gonna be serious. Oh shit, my bad. I didn't mean to put this back up. Oh, let me look again. Maybe I did unintentionally to say maybe I'm hating or some shit. I mean, in the modern NBA, your two guard only takes 2.8 3-pointers. What? Yeah, all right. He must be the godfather of Jokic children. That's it. Yep. Jamal in the chat. He said, "What's good, Breezy?" Yo, Jamal, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It was nice meeting you, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was nice meeting you, man. You know what I mean? It's me, Jamal. Of course, you know this is JTV. And, you know what I'm saying? You know, since way back in the day when we were kids. He tall. I ain't know he's gonna grow that tall. He the tallest one out of all of us. I'm 6 feet, so I think he probably like 6'4". Shout to Ant. Shout to Jamal, man. See, you know what I'm saying? We all chilling. Word. Lucky T said, "Sup, bro?" Jamal said, "Same here, bro." Well, it was all love. And I'm saying we was chilling. You know what I mean? Shout out to Scott. Scott is in the chat. Let me tell y'all one. Now I got y'all attention. Let me tell y'all why I said Scott should be taken serious by the Brooklyn Nets. Look at Scott work. Look at Scott work, bro. This is how Scott even get that close to Cam Thomas, but he did. This is you see pictures like this. This is why I say Nets fans is the best fans. This is why I say Nets fans is the best fans, bro. Look at this picture, bro. All right, we ain't done. We ain't done. Shout out to Scott. Look at Scott. Come on, man. It's not that it's two pictures of Cam Thomas. Stop it, guys. Stop it. It's not that. It's the fact. Look at the quality of the picture. You feel what I'm saying? Look at the quality of it. You know what I mean? Mind you, the picture that I just showed y'all, this is Scott camera. You feel what I'm saying? So imagine. You know what I mean? All right, so hold on. But yeah, I know Scott in the chat, so I'm just throw the link in the chat real quick. Word, but yeah, man. I'm just glad y'all know that, you know, the season is among us. You know what I'm saying? We can look at the schedule if y'all want. And it's gonna be nice. Let me tell you that. We don't play until Wednesday though. So it is what it is. I ain't gonna do the pre-cap for our game until tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no reason for that. We could get into content tonight. Houston versus Oklahoma. Golden State versus LA. It's tough. Houston versus Oklahoma gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, Breeze.
Yo, what's good? Everything Brooklyn Nets, John. What's the word?
Excited to see some basketball tomorrow night, opening night, and then really for Brooklyn Nets, it's opening night on Wednesday. So it's just good to see some basketball. I know this was a very long off season for many of us. We disagreed on a lot of stuff. We agreed on some stuff, but for these 82 games, we're gonna see what this new era of Brooklyn is made of. To see.
Yeah, I think Drake Powell. I think he should play 6 man. I think they want to invest in each rookies. You put Diego at the point, put Drake at the 6 man. How you feel about that?
Listen, give Drake Powell minutes after the moves that were made today, the last few days. There really shouldn't be no excuses why Drake Powell doesn't play at least 15 to 20 minutes on some nights because he does have a lot of potential, defense, athleticism, and he's just figured out his scoring identity. I don't know if he's necessarily a six man, but I believe he's an integral part of our bench at this point as far as developing his game and being that good defensive stopper that we need as far as energy and just effort goes, and I think he's shown you that in a small sample size. So I really do hope we get those minutes because it feels like he can embody what Jordy wants as a defensive identity for this team. Same with him and Zaire. I wouldn't mind if him and Zaire share minutes on the court together because that's going to give some
Yo,
teams some
yo,
work.
you and I'm gonna listen to you and Brooklyn LM. Y'all could cook about tomorrow night's games. I'm gonna just listen. I'm on dad duty for real, so go ahead, y'all could cook.
About tomorrow's games?
Oh,
Yeah,
what's good,
tomorrow.
y'all?
Hey, so who do you think's gonna win tomorrow opening night? We got Houston and OKC, Warriors and Lakers. For me, I think I'm going with OKC just because they have their core intact. They don't have Williams tomorrow, but you still got Shea, you still got Chet, you still have your main core. Houston without Fred VanVleet, who's gonna run the playmaking duties? That to me is a question mark. And then for Lakers and Warriors, Lakers don't have LeBron, but they got Luka. And for the Warriors, I don't know if they could have Jimmy. I think they will, but I think that's an even matchup and it'll be interesting to see how their bench pieces play. But for me tomorrow, I think I got OKC and the Lakers winning. What about you?
um, I think probably. I think OKC. I think OKC takes it tomorrow. Um, Houston just got with Van Fleet injured, they got to get accumulated to I think they run an Amin Thompson at point. I don't know how that's. Good thing they got KD a shooting guard, which
That's wild.
yeah, the spacing in that lineup. I mean, it's going to be nuts. You got KD and Jabari Smith Jr. That's really the two
And
shooters in that
and they're
lineup.
playing Steven Adams, LM. They have four guys in that 5 man rotation that are 6'11", which is that's unprecedented. That's ridiculous. That's what we want to draft next year. And you
Yeah.
have four of those guys in your rotation. I think the star rotation will be super interesting. It's just who's running point. I think it's Amon, like you said. It's a huge test for him, but they definitely Reed Shepard. That's a guy to look out for tomorrow as far as what minutes he's going to get because those bench minutes will definitely be a deciding factor if Houston's starting lineup can retain their height advantage. They definitely have a height advantage, but I don't know if they necessarily have the balance though, with just throwing all those tall guys out there. But that's a freaky lineup for sure.
Yeah, it's just Sengun and Adams is where I mean I don't really not that Sengun would hesitate to shoot the three,
Mm-hmm.
but I just with him being versatile in terms of the scoring arsenal, that's going to be interesting to see how they operate and correlate in that area. Um, but I think OKC uh gets the business in the first game. I think they take that one. Um, Lakers and Warriors. Uh, I think. Oh no, I think Golden State might take it. I think
Interesting.
Steph is as long as I think Steph, Jimmy Butler, Draymond. I think they just acquired Al Horford. Um, so I mean, I'm sure Al Horford's probably gonna be playing the five, but I think right now with LeBron out, uh, their roster just is better than the Lakers for the time being. I think Steph and they'll make a statement. Um, yeah, I think they just take control of the Lakers. It will be Luca's. Well, it already was Luca's team, but it's really
Is
Luca's team now to
yeah.
see, what he can do without LeBron, which is going to be really interesting. I don't think the Lakers really made moves except for Aiton this year. Um, but in terms of the surrounding roster, I don't really. I think it might be the same roster with Reeves, Vanderbilt. So I don't know. Luca is really going to, and Aiton is really going to put the team on their backs.
That
Um,
that
and
that's
start
good you
coming.
mentioned. That's good you mentioned Aim because he's a huge question mark. This guy literally is trying to resurrect a career which has gone downhill from the Suns days. They wanted to sign with the Pacers. Suns retained him. Then he went to Portland. Didn't want to go through the snow to play basketball. Like his toughness is really going to be tested because him and Luca, they're going to have to find some synergy. I saw a little bit of what they were doing in preseason. Like if Luca could feed eight in those interior lobs, that's definitely a combo that won't lose on most nights. But Aiton's defensive effort and his ability to just score at the rim, doing more than just being a lob threat, like he has the ability, is just he doesn't tend to do that a lot. So he's definitely have to play a key factor tomorrow night. It can't just be a Luka show. I think Luka, the way he looks right now, all the work he's put in this summer to really get rid of the fat suit that he had, like he really put a lot of work into that, and he played great in Euros. So I really think him on the court tomorrow right now is the best player on that court. I think Curry's great. I think Jimmy Butler does what he does. It's just somebody has to back up Luka tomorrow night. I feel like it has to be Ayton or some of the guys they acquired, like Marcus Smart. His defensive effort tomorrow is going to be important. But I do agree with you. I think Jimmy and Curry, if they both play at a high level tomorrow, Luka's definitely going to have to either outscore them or have Ayton or somebody back him up. But yeah, I think it goes either way for me tomorrow night. But I just want to give it to the Lakers right now. But Warriors could obviously, like you said, take it if they want.
Yeah, I think both of these games are could be 50-50. But I mean, after a long time, regular season is starting. Uh, I think the next season starts Wednesday. Um, so season is back. I mean, there's not really much more you can ask for. I think now we're just looking to see how this, not only just the league, but this Nets team meshes well in terms with the new rookies.
Right,
I just want them to let these guys play, man. Like I'm seeing the rookies around the league. VJ Edgecombe is getting 34 minutes.
right,
Bailey is getting 30 minutes. Like they're just letting the kids play, and that's what I really want from this team. Don't hold anybody back. Throw them in the
right.
fire. I heard Nick Nurse is starting Edgecombe for opening night. Like
Wow.
it's just throw them in the fire. That's how these guys are gonna learn. Um, as far as with Yegor, play him 30 minutes, see what you can get out of him. I'm not really expecting to see uh wins this season. I already know a lot of people is off the wins or loss record or whatever, but I just want to see, for me, the development of the rookies. Like I want to see which of these guys uh are further along the development plan in terms of being a valuable asset to this team. Um,
Yeah, I definitely
I
agree with
think
you on that. I definitely agree on that. I think for the Nets and Hornets, that's gonna be a very interesting matchup. I think both teams they're loaded with guards. They have Lamelo, um, they just got Knipples, so like they definitely have some scoring options. Their team. I think for us, on Wednesday, it really be interesting to see how Claxton, Clowney, and Dayron perform because the Hornets they really have a weak center. They have one of the weakest center groups in the league. They have Mason Plumlee and Kalkbrenner, so realistically, even though rebounding is going to be a huge test for us this year, it's probably on most nights not like a rebounding. As far as Wednesday goes, our big should be able to rebound somewhat. I'd be shocked if the Nets get out rebounded by this Hornets team. I think for the Nets, they have to fight on Wednesday. I think it'll be interesting to see what the starting lineup is because I think Jordy's got to make a decision between Yegor and Saraf. And I mean, Yegor showed what he could do in the last preseason games. He was scoring well. He was taking some assists from his teammates. Like he was knocking down threes. I really think it should go to him because he's our ladder pick, and that's who we're developing. Sarafki, I guess, could play backup minutes as the backup six right now. But I really feel like Yegor, he should get the lead start just to see how he performs. And then Cam obviously will start as a scoring guard. I don't know if he's going to stick with Terrence Mann as a three. Why not give it to Zaire, switch it up? But I wouldn't be surprised if it's Terrence Mann and then you have MPJ at the 4 and Clax at the 5. I think that would probably be the starting lineup. Yegor, Cam, Mann, MPJ, and Claxton. Then the bench will switch it up. Dayron will get minutes. Zaire get minutes. Saraf is probably going to be the backup. I don't know if Nolan gets minutes off the bat. And then it'll be interesting to see if Drake Powell does fit in somewhere, especially now that Haywood is going to be out for a long time. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the minutes are dispensed on opening night. For any Brooklyn-based members, I hope you keep track of the minutes to see kind of if Jordy is a man of his word, that he is going to trust some of these young guys to play those extended minutes. Like Elam just said, this season is about testing these young guys, not just throwing them in the deep end and hoping they fail, but it's to see if they can handle adversity for these 82 games. And if every one of these Flatbush Five can do that, it definitely makes you reconsider some things about this draft class. But it only starts with getting time on the court. And our organization the last 10 years hasn't really taken that route. with letting their young homegrown prospects get those minutes. They have to earn them off the scenes and they get them a year or two after. No, this has to be different this year. They need to grow, they need to learn, need to develop their own identity on the court. And that's the best way to build their value and confidence up as far as making a case to other NBA players in the league on why they should come join this group. And that's only going to happen with trust from Jordy. So I agree with you, LM. We'll be interested to see if Jordy's a man of his word and he will trust these young guys, especially Yegor, hopefully Powell and Wolf down the line to get those main minutes, while Seraph and Nolan are definitely going to have to learn how to be more physical playing in the NBA. But it'll be interesting to see how Yegor and some of these young guys do play on their first real game of action Wednesday, their first real game. So that's definitely going to be a good barometer to see how that young team meets the challenge. And Cam Thomas, of course, what tone is he going to set, not just for this game on Wednesday, for the first 10, 15 games? If he wants to set a high bar, let's see what he does for his first 10, 15 games on offense and playmaking and whatever else he can give you on rebounding, defense, etc.
Yeah, huge year for Cam. Um, just seeing, one, I'm just looking to see Cam be healthy. Like, I need him to play 71 games, 77 games would be nice, 75 games would be nice, but just a healthy season. I already know he's gonna score. Um, I already know he's gonna do that in a plethora of ways. Um, the assist numbers is where I want to see where he, thrives at, really. Defensively, I say it all the time. Defense is a mentality. Like, you have to want to play defense. It's just something that's ingrained in you, and hopefully that's ingrained in Cam this year. It's gonna be a really interesting year to see how he plays, with Yegor. I
Right.
think Zaire should be starting, but I mean, it is what it is. Uh, Zaire should be in that starting lineup. Um, I just think he offers more height, more defense. But we'll see how Horty handles that. But I mean,
Right.
with Cam, this is a huge year. Um, will he get traded before the deadline? I don't know. Who
I'll wait
knows
till
at this
December
point?
15th. I'll wait till December 15th, LM. From now till then, it's Cam Thomas' chance to prove not only to himself but to the NBA why he should still be in the NBA and his skill set should be respected. I think he has till December 15th to make that case. And for us, let's just sit back and see what happens. I think he will do great offensively. I just hope the playmaking numbers are consistent and his teammates do take advantage of him trying to work on the game. I think we saw in the preseason he was trying. I will give him that. It's just for 10, 15 games, establish the consistency factor, and things should fall how they should fall. But I would say Noah Clowney as well. It's a huge year. I mean, we're getting complaints on him. You and I think he can have a big year, but I do agree with some criticisms that this guy needs to be a better rebounder. He needs to be physical with finishing at the rim. I mean, we saw in the last preseason game against one of the Raptors players, he starts to fold his arms like he's about to take a charge, but the guy just glides by him, goes to the rim like Clowney. You can't be like that. You're 234 pounds. You got to show some physicality, some grit. If Clowney cannot do that this season and he is shooting good threes and his offense is okay, that's not enough. He needs to dominate somewhat as a forward and prove that he could be one of our future cornerstone pieces at the forward position. But if he can, that draft class of 2023 is looking like a complete failure. So Marks and his scouting department better hope that Clowney can really raise up his physicality level because he has to, or else that class was a complete waste of time. And we don't want that. But I think Clowney definitely needs to take the physicality up a few notches. And I'm definitely watching his game on Wednesday. He needs to set that tone against the Hornets, especially given the fact that their forward and center positions aren't that super dominant at this point. That's another performance to look out for.
Yeah, man. Uh, Clowney, I've seen in the off season, he was working on like post fades and just different moves and putting the ball on the floor. Um, I just hopefully these guys just show it in the regular season instead of the off season. But I mean, Clowney definitely has, I think he's what, 21. Um, Definitely part of the young core. He has a lot to learn as well. I just, want these guys to put what they've been working on in the off season to the regular season, and hopefully it pays off. But um, yeah, I'm just realistically, I really want to see how like Drake Powell. I obviously want to get minutes, but
Right,
um, I think this is a huge year for. I mean, Yegor. Him being at the point guard spot,
right.
it's going to be all eyes on him. You know, he's our eighth pick. He's our first lottery pick in years. You know, so he's going up against what Lamelo his opening night.
Yep.
Lamelo ain't really the best defender, but it's going to be interesting to see how those guys go battle it out. But like I said, I just don't want Horty to baby Eagle. I mean, he's our eighth pick. Throw him in the
Right.
fire, see what he can do. You know, rather he has to play 32 minutes, 34 minutes, 30 minutes. Just let these guys play the whole regular season. No, I don't want to see Yegor playing 20 or 15 minutes per game. You know, this is our lottery pick. This is our guy, our first pick. You know, you want him to play against Cade, against Shea, against Luca, against Lamelo, against these guys, so he can get experience. Even take lessons from these guys that he's seeing in real time. On the court. Hey, I can use that. What Luca did, I can do that. What Cade did, I can take a little bit from that. Like, just let him get the experience up front, and let him grow. Nah,
I,
and
I
he ain't gonna grow without getting minutes. So.
I definitely agree with you, and I think the biggest thing we're going to see is him getting stronger physically. He already came to training camp 10 pounds heavier, so it's good for him to start building up the body mass. He even said it, I got to get strong. You'll probably be seeing me a lot more in the gym than you will be on the court in practice. Like that mindset, that understanding of what he has to improve on, that's great for him as far as the development goes, and it shows that he cares about being a leader and leading by example. So, and we also seen the 3-point shot get better. That was one of his biggest weaknesses coming into training camp, and already he's knocked them down with a precision, with a focus, and that's great. Now we can see more we can do with the interior, hopefully down the road. But I agree, definitely got to build his minutes up. The plaster fasciitis still gives you a little cause for concern. I wouldn't be upset if his minutes aren't like the 25-30 minute off the bat, like maybe 20 plus, just to build up his confidence and make sure that injury is a mute note in the first 3 to 4 5 games. But like after like maybe the 9 or 10 games, definitely ramp it up. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just play him around a standard 20 just to build him up so there's no repercussions on the injury situation. And the fact that some of our guys have had trouble ramping up in the past, we don't want that to come back and rear its ugly head. And, just talk about Clax for a second. Huge year for him as well. Some people in the Brooklyn base are ready to trade him. Some still think he has value to our team. He needs to utilize all the playmakers around him and do what he did in preseason, impact the game offensively, rebounding, defense, just with his energy and effort. He said becoming a dad has changed his life, given him a new lease on things. So we just got to see that energy, like for the first half of the season. Just be a good vet for these young guys. I get it. He likes to be very emotional. He likes to, be powerful like that in certain ways. But you got to control your emotions too. Be a good example for these young guys because you want them to feel like if they're in a close game and you have a big bucket, just don't do the tantrums again. We'll turn over a new leaf and be the new Claxton because maybe that might raise his value up, and we definitely want to get his value up in case we want to get Danny Wolf more minutes. So his performance as well is going to be important this first half of this season. But yeah, I just hope these young guys get as much playing time as possible. They develop, and we put ourselves in good position to draft next year. Next year's draft, I don't know if you saw, Ella. Me and Ice did like a show a few days ago to talk about the Bonsa, Boozer, and Peterson, and it's crazy. There's the strengths and skills they have. Like their weaknesses are so minimal, and their strengths are so versatile. And for the Brooklyn Nets, getting one of those guys to surround them with who you drafted this year, it gives the Nets a real base and a core to really spring forward and start developing winning habits. They're just trying to get better and improve his skill set, but build winning habits. So if these Flatbush Five can develop this year, it puts us in a great position drafting one of these big fish next year that could really give the Nets that identity and drive they're looking for to build that winning culture going forward. But Scott, what are your thoughts on tomorrow's opening night's games, and what are you expecting from the Brooklyn Nets against the Hornets on Wednesday to open up the season?
Sorry, my mic was off. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. I just think that, like you said, I just want to see I want to see the rookies play as much as they can.
Right.
I just think that that development is important that they see how the NBA is because every night you going up against somebody who's tough, So yeah, it's exciting. I think Diego, I want to see him start. I wish he start, but I don't know if Jordy is going to do that. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what to expect, so I'm excited. That's why.
Yeah.
Here's a small question. What do you think about the Kobe Buffkin move and not waiving Wilson? For me personally, I thought the goal was to give him a chance to earn a role on this team in regular season minutes. But apparently, I think Sean Marks made this political move because he didn't want to waive Wilson. And then people going, oh my gosh, 2/3 of your draft class are already off this team. Let's give Wilson a shot because he's a good
I don't
character
think he
guy, even
paid
though his
attention. I
performance
don't
was so
think he
far.
cares. I
Like,
don't
what was
think
your
he
thought on
care
that?
about that. I think he just kept what they need. I mean, having wings is important in this league, man. You got to have that versatility with wings, and you never know when somebody might go down. So,
It,
as far
it,
as point guard is concerned, I mean, if they really truly are trying to stay in the hunt for maybe a top 3 pick, Buffkin could have been the reason why you're not going to get a top 3 pick.
I wouldn't believe that, Scott. He was going to be a
I
difference maker.
mean,
The guys have played
he's
2
more
years, but he was going to get
experienced than
minutes. He was going to get minutes.
He's way more experienced than Nolan Trior. So your backup would be much more experienced and actually help you win games.
To a certain degree, I could agree with you, but Buffkin hasn't played a lot of games in 2 years, and
That's
he could have.
true.
But he could
That
have got some minutes at the beginning of the season, so no one would have to feel like I have to rush. I have to, not work
why
my weaknesses, stuff like that. I feel like now it's like you're forcing Nolan
Nolan?
to have to catch up to Ben
Yeah,
Surratt because
well
those two guys are in
that's what
direct
we want.
competition right now.
Maybe Nolan has it. He just got to get this feel. Because coming from overseas is different. You come in a place where people don't even speak your language. He speaks English pretty good, but I mean, he's a Frenchman.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
he's got to adapt. He's got to adapt. The only way you adapt is by playing. Where
No,
Buffkin knows the NBA, he been in games.
No, I understand that. I thought he was going to get a legit shot. I just don't see. I see Wilson as super expendable. I don't mind keeping Martin because you need a cheap vet
Yeah,
to keep
he's
around.
expendable.
And no, but Martin you could keep around because the guys like him. He seems to bring something good. With Wilson, I don't think anybody said anything good about this guy this year except apparently Jordy. He's a good character guy or whatever. It's like enough of a good character. What is the skill set? I just think Wilson. He could shoot threes. We know that.
He
Everything
can
else he
rebound.
does, it's not. He can
He's
rebound
a
somewhat, but
decent.
it's not like whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like a wow factor. But I understand he's a 15th guy on the roster. If this was a tank
Right.
move by Sean, okay. But still,
Yeah.
I like what I said though. We want a young team of guys trying to prove themselves. We don't want to overwhelm the Flatbush Five crazily. We want to have a few other young guys to mix it up, to have some type of depth. And I thought that's why Kobe appealed to some of us. He wasn't going to be no difference maker for me personally, but I understand kind of why Sean Marks did. He's
I
also
don't
protecting
know.
himself. He's also protecting himself from a failed draft class in 2023 if
I
Wilson left the team. I understand that too, but still, that's his
I
decisions.
I
that he
think
has to own up
Jordy is
to.
one of those coaches. If you get him with a skilled point guard who can get his own shot, you're gonna win more games than you think.
I don't know. The deal last year, that's because that guy's been in the league way longer than Kobe Buffkin has. I don't think Buffkin would have been that much of a difference maker like that. But I understand why you're saying it, Scott. But
I don't
I
know. You
personally
taking
wouldn't have
that
seen that.
chance because
But
he does have scoring in him.
yeah,
Kobe Buckner put numbers up, and the
he
more he play, the better he'll get. If he can stay healthy, he will win games. He'll help you win
I think he's
games.
just tired of guys with, especially with Derek Whitehead, just guys with injuries.
Yeah,
Like,
that too.
I
He
think
probably felt that
it's time.
hey, somebody got to go. Somebody got to go.
Jalen Wilson, the guy didn't do
No,
anything impressive. He didn't do anything impressive at
he's
trade. He was
cheap.
playing back end minutes. He played back end minutes before
Yeah,
Buffkin. Buffkin actually was
yeah.
ahead of him in a few of those
He's
preseason games.
cheap.
That's
He's
that's where the
cheap. He's a
rationale was a little
wing.
confusing.
He's cheap. He's a wing. He's got size, which is something that y'all been talking about.
All
I think,
right. Well, I will say this now. The
I
only
mean,
guy that's really a hindrance right now is Terrence Mann because now you got rid of these other pieces, the Whiteheads, the Wumans, and now Buffkin. It should really open up more playing time for guys like Drake Powell. And obviously, Seraph and Nolan are in direct
they'll
competition with each
play.
other behind Yegor.
They'll
But
play.
The Terrence Mann thing, if you remove him from the equation, Powell and Wolf should get all the minutes in the world at that point, even Zaire too. So
I mean,
that's something that has
I
to
don't,
fall next, probably.
I think if I was Jordy, if I'm thinking the way a coach would, right? If I'm putting you out there, right, and you playing, I mean, dog crap, you
Hmm.
playing real bad, I'm gonna pull you. I don't care about learning. You're getting pulled because you're not learning from being dog crap.
No, that's true.
you,
I mean,
you're
Jordy,
not learning anything.
I
it
think
goes
Jordy's.
both. It goes both ways, though. Like, of
You
course,
as a point guard,
everybody.
if you figure as a point guard,
I
if you
mean,
have 4 or 5
we're talking about
turnovers,
a game
you getting
where
pulled. You
I
getting
mean,
pulled.
Kobe in his first game shot 2 air balls. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
it's learning processes. Even the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
guys are gonna go out and stink up the joint, but
But
that's how they learn.
We seen Kobe with Kobe Buffkin in Atlanta put up numbers when he
In
was
G
healthy.
League, he did. I saw his stats in G League. What he did regular season wasn't even close because of the injuries. But I understand Scott the theory that if he did get a role in this team and did better, he might ass out one of these draft picks. But that's the gamble you take to see if the guys that you're taking projects on, like a Buffkin, is better than some of your draft picks. That's kind of what you do in rebuilding situations. But to move on for a second, Ice, welcome to the show. Ice, what are your thoughts on tomorrow's 2 games? And really, what's your thoughts on opening night, Brooklyn against Hornets? Who you looking out for? Potentially make an impact, and who you hoping get minutes out there on Wednesday night ice.
All right, you know what I'm saying? Um, Houston and who was it? Houston and Golden State tomorrow.
No, Houston and OKC,
Oh,
Warriors and Lakers.
okay. Houston and OKC. I got OKC, of course. You know what I'm saying, winning that first game, but
Mm,
it's gonna be a match. It's gonna be close, I believe. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna say that. But as far as us and Hornets, do not sleep on the Hornets team. They're a little bit different this season. Preseason and the summer league, they look a little bit different. And my guy Ryan Cartwright is now the starting center, so he's gonna be blocking somebody's shots during that game on Wednesday. But for us, I wish we would have kept Buffkin. You know what I'm saying? I wish we would have kept
right.
Buffkin, but it's all right. Um, I really, I know you just talked about Terrence Mann, but I want to see Terrence Mann ball out.
Mm,
And I also want to see if Danny Wolf gets any minutes, and between Yeager and Sarab, how they're going to be used this game, because that team
right.
is pretty stacked, and people don't really. They got a young team too. They got people out the draft. Ryan starting for them out the draft, and Liam McNeely is a good 3-point shooter, and they got Con Knuckle. So they got guys that can space the
And they got
floor.
Brandon Miller, a guy who could be a bucket scorer. So that's a guy to look out for
Exactly.
too.
So it's gonna be a good matchup. I hope we win it, but I think Charlotte might take it for the game winner. They seem like they got more chemistry right now because that team been together longer. So they just got a little bit more chemistry. But I still think it's gonna be a close game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think they'll out rebound us? Because I feel like Clowney, Claxton, Dayron, they have to have a big rebounding game because the Hornets, I think, have one of the weakest center positions in the NBA. So, like, do you think that they have to really set that example as far as rebounds on offense and defense goes? And if they somehow do that, do you think that that will give the Nets enough of a fighting chance to maybe etch out a win or get close to either winning or losing this game? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
All right, so Ryan Clark is not easy to rebound over. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Dude is he's 7'1", 250 something. You know what I'm saying? And it reminds me of of dang, what's his name? That played on the Bucks that shoot the threes. Brooke.
Brooke
Um,
Lopez.
yeah, Brooke Lopez. Yeah, he reminds me of Brooke Lopez. But he's gonna grab 7 to 10 rebounds by himself. You know what I'm saying? So Clack's gonna have his work cut out for him. Dayron should be all right because their backup center is Diabante, and he's okay, a little bit athletic and slim. I think Dayron can bully him. And then you got to deal with Miles Bridges at the 4. So that's going to be a battle for Clowney. So we might be able to out rebound him, but you know what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
Carter Brandon have a good game, that's 7 to 10 rebounds by himself. So, you know what I mean? It's gonna be.
Right.
I think everything with this game is gonna be close.
How many points do you think Cam will drop tomorrow against LaMelo and the Hornets? Like, what are you thinking his ratio of offense to points and rebounds should be tomorrow? Like, just a fun prediction. What do you think?
I think Cam should be around 20 to
Mhm.
22 points and maybe like 4 to 5 assists, maybe
Ooh,
something like that. You know what I'm saying? To see if he can manage 5 to 6 assists and keep his scoring high. You know what I mean?
all right.
So if he can manage that, then we move forward. And, you slowly bump his points up and see if he can keep the assists as well.
No, that's not a bad prediction. Scott, that's the same question to you. What kind of ratio you think Cam Thomas is going to set up for himself tomorrow? Not tomorrow, Wednesday against the Hornets.
I'll hopefully shoot better than he did last time.
Agree.
He was like 1 for 10. Wow. But he had 6 assists, but I actually counted 8, but that it is what it is. But um if he has 20 points or anywhere near 20 points and can get 5 assists, that would be a good game for him.
Nah,
You
I
know,
agree. I agree.
he
LM,
don't need that much. He don't really. If they want to really run like what Jordy want to run, everybody touch the ball, everybody shoots, everybody can shoot. Then everybody in the league know what Cam Thomas is.
right,
They
nah.
and they fear him. If you
Mm,
think they don't fear him, you sadly mistaken, because they do. They picking
you're,
him up before half court.
you heard it here from Scott, folks. Chef Killer Cam is going to make him fear the hors d'oeuvres he's
They
about to
they
serve
do fear
tomorrow.
him. He's the
um,
only legit three person that can get really off the dribble on the team so
I,
far.
I
We don't
agree.
know. We don't know what Danny Wolf is. We really don't. This is going to be interesting, and I'm excited to see these rookies play. I really am.
We all are, Scott. LMT, I'm going to switch the question a little bit. MPJ, like, this was a wild offseason with him. The
Yeah,
podcast antics, what he's done on the
yeah.
court.
We saw that. We see that, John.
Yeah. And
That
then
was crazy with him.
right. And LM, last game, MPJ finally had his best game in the final tune-up with a 34-point performance and some good rebounds and assists. What are you going to expect from him on Wednesday night? Can him and Cam Thomas together, who could be a potential top 10 scoring duo in some people's eyes, or be a top 20 scoring duo at the very worst, could they potentially set a good tone on Wednesday together against a team like the Hornets? What are you looking for with MPJ and Cam's performances on Wednesday?
Um, I mean, regardless, people may say, the Hornets is trash or whatever, but I still feel
And
like they're still a decent team.
I do
Um,
too, LL. I think they're a
I
decent
think
team.
MPJ, I don't know if he's going for 34 again, but I think he'll have a calm, probably 20, 21. Cam with a calm 20, maybe 23. I think the important thing they have to figure out is balance in terms of the
Right.
scoring mode. Which guy is gonna have it one night, which guy is gonna have it the other night, or just in general, which of those two are gonna pass the ball? Which to me, I don't know. Like they both haven't seen a shot that they don't like. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to
That's
see
true.
how they, balance that out. But I don't think it necessarily has to be Cam scoring, 30 every night. Um,
Yeah, I do.
Right.
I agree.
I don't think it has to be that. Neither and PJ scoring 30 every night. I think
Yep.
this team is looking for balance,
Yep.
kind of like
I
an
think so. I think so.
Kind of like an Indiana approach, where it's
Right.
not just,
Exactly.
Halliburton scoring 30
Right.
every night. You may get that from Siakam or Nesmith or Nemhard. You might, any one
Yeah.
of those guys might
Yeah,
go off.
that's right. That's right.
Right. Nah,
I
good
think that
points.
would be a good approach as to what they're trying to accomplish in terms of, who knows, Jaguar might have a 25 plus
He
game
might
one
score
day,
20 points tonight. He
who
might
knows?
score 20,
You know,
right?
it's
Put
so
it up.
So,
interesting. If we were looking at like a micro three on this team, I would say Cam, Yeager, and MPG would fit that bill. Maybe Claxton being the fourth guy. If those three guys can figure out some offensive dynamic together as a mini trio, maybe it gives them a great fighting chance in these first 10 to 15, 20 games where a lot of teams are just trying to get acclimated with playing regular season games again. Maybe that gives the Nets a slight edge, which can worry a lot of pro takers. But at the same time, we just have to see where the results fall this year. I think this roster's in a good position to win some games here or there, but also lose a lot of games just because we don't have the balance of a lot of these other teams. And this is a new team. So, but if those three guys can find some type of offensive identity together, they definitely give this team a fighting chance on some nights. But Ice, I got a good question for you. Your guy Tyrese Martin, he survived the BKNY Hunger Games. The guy that you personally discovered via scout mode. Ice, just what were your thoughts on Tyrese Martin in this preseason, and what from what you saw allowed him to not only earn the trust of Jordy but his teammates, and now that he's on the roster, do you see this being more than just a 1-year relationship? Could he potentially be one of our future vets, as we're probably going to move off of some vets at next year's deadline? Like, what are your thoughts on Martin and his potential long term with Brooklyn?
Well, I would say, yeah, I scouted Martin when people were sleeping on him. When people were sleeping on my G League guy, you know what I'm saying? I just know he's skilled, right? And I seen him work on the off season, and then everyone talking about how he's unguardable in practice. But I want to see unguardable in the game, because that's really where it matters the most. When he already made his name for shooting, but now he got to make his name like Cam make a name if he can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he could, but they say he's the hardest person to guard. You know what I'm saying? And I think Cam is the hardest person to guard. So if you got two people that's tough to guard, then you know what I'm saying, the other team will have a problem. But as far as preseason, like that game that he won for us, it just showed. You know, he didn't have a first good game, but it showed like he came off the bench early, and Jordy went to him early, and guys like Jalen Williams, Jay Wills got off the bench right in the end of the third towards the fourth. So you know, Jordy has some trust in him. And his game must have matured in a way that Jordy's like, all right, we're gonna go to you, like, you know what I'm saying, 6, 7 man or whatever. And longevity, I don't think Reese will be here long term. I think Reese is a growing player. I think he's got more to give. And I think on our way up, he'll move up to a team that's, you know what I'm saying, more ready for his skill set when he shows what he can do.
No, it's very, very valid answers. And I think Martin could be a cheap vet. Like, we have to remember, there could be some tough decisions being made from December 15th to February 5th, which is the official day of the trade deadline. And there are some vets on this team who could be flipped depending on the injuries going on. There's so many injuries, and Martin could be that guy to be a good, vet for these young guys. Like, at the end of the day, we have to also remember, financially, some of these vets on this team would take up a lot of cap space money that we potentially might need to get bigger pieces to eventually surround this Flatbush 5 new draft next year. So we should see if Martin can extend himself on this team in some way or form. Scott, here's a good question for you. The Haywood Heisman situation, we heard he was trying to rehab, come back on opening day. Like, that was like 6 weeks after the meniscus surgery. Some people said maybe he shouldn't do that. But this guy's obviously a competitor. He's locksmith. He wants to be part of this team, fight for his future contract next year. But unfortunately, with rehabbing too quickly, he suffered a setback and some knee swelling, and now this guy's out for the next 2 months, which means hypothetically he could be back in January, which gives him about less than 4 weeks to make a case to contending teams why he should be traded. At this point, Scott, can we salvage something with Haywood Highsmith in less than 4 weeks, or maybe should the Nets consider just waiving him and let him go sign with somebody in the buyout market at this point? Like, Scott, what are your thoughts on his situation? Is there any chance to reclaim his value at this point? Did Sean Marks just fail with this rush back rehab stint?
I mean, it might be a failed thing, but that also had a lot to do with them letting Bufkin go. If you think about it, and keeping my man. So that yeah, they might have to bail on it, if anything.
Oh.
So I mean, Highsmith is, well, they're going to probably keep him and then try to deal with it later for next year or whatever the case may be. Because I believe he's making under $10 million, right?
He's making $5 million about, I believe.
Oh, okay. So it's not such a hit, So they can absorb that. So
Nah, that's definitely a good answer. Listen, it's just unfortunate because he was the one vet on this team that I felt we could get something back for. But if we look at next year's deadline, Claxton, Cam, Terrence Mann, and now Haywood, like their values are hard to really figure out because on one hand, you could say, hey, if a team's very desperate, they could give up something for him. But if these teams don't go through injury situation, teams are pretty fine. Why would I want to take a chance on any of these guys? Especially
yeah,
with Cam's situation with the no trade clause. So Haywood was like one of your safety nets. Now you take that away, there's no telling who or what is going to get moved on the trade deadline. I don't know if it was you, Scott, or Ice that said you want to see Terrence Mann play well. If he plays well in these first 10, 15, 20 games, his value is quickly up there, and there could be a team that might want to trade for his veteran bench experience, and he's only making $15 million. So I think Mann right now is one of our movable pieces, whereas with Claxton, Cam, and obviously MPJ, those like are way out there right now because we don't know what teams would be willing to give up significant assets for guys that are making over 20, 30, $40 million in a Cam situation. So I'm making $6 million. So yeah, it felt like with the Haywood situation now, it's definitely gonna be tough to. And so we have to focus on this first half leading up to December 5th to see if any guys could build their value. But that definitely added more mist to what
yeah,
could have potentially been more of a clearer situation. But good answer.
yeah.
LM, so with Nick Claxton on Wednesday, what kind of race you looking with him? Do you think he's going to set this bar, turn over a new leaf, and really be a good vet for these young guys? Like, what are your thoughts on Claxton and his preparation so far?
You said me,
Um,
John? Go ahead.
Claxton.
um, I don't know. With Claxton, I feel like he's just a ticking time bomb. You don't know when he's gonna,
Ooh.
you know, explode or whatever the case may be. But I think that his role this year might be even greater due to us having all these point guards.
Right.
Him and Yegor, I definitely want to see in the starting lineup just to see how that combination works. Of him being a lob threat, he's gonna have somebody at the one to set him up and get him touches. So I'm sure he's jumping for joy, especially lacking a point guard for last season and Kyrie and everybody leaving. He's been the longest tenured net really on his team that's just been through a lot with the
Yeah,
roster changing,
yeah,
besides
he been
Cam
through a
and
lot.
probably Daron. So it's
Yeah,
going to be really interesting to see how he not only humbles himself but also gets involved within the offense. But I think Yegor, Saraf, Nolan, I think these guys are going to be guys that um, get him involved. Obviously, Cam Thomas in the pick and roll with him. He's going to find Clax. So, barring health, I think we see something, I think we see his game elevated, but hopefully that's the case. If not, then, he might be moved by the trade deadline. Who knows?
Right.
But
It's a really who knows situation. We really want the Tantrum King moniker to not be a part of this new class, and hopefully he could just keep his head above water and just be a good leader for these teams. Ice, here's a really good question. We are actually finally over the minimum salary floor. Thank goodness that's finally done with, but we still have an open two-way spot. We thought it was going to be Fambo. Everybody thought leading up to, China that this guy was going to certify a role for himself. And now ever since then, we've heard nothing about Fambo. I don't know where Fambo is. I don't know if he's in China, if he's in America. I don't know where this guy is.
yeah.
And then
Nobody
Grant
know where he
Nelson,
at.
yeah, and then Grant Nelson got signed and waived. And I think we signed 10 to 15 players the last 2 weeks, waived them all to G League Long Island. So, Ice, is there any information on who this final two-way spot can go to, which is one of our last bits of business before the season starts? Any
Not,
answers, Ice?
not at all. I'm still looking
Great answer.
myself. I'm still searching for the answer myself. I even asked Next Daily because Next Daily put on
I saw
a
that.
post that he said that most of the guys that was cut and got low salary, you know what I'm saying, will end up in Long Island. And I asked him about Grant Nelson and Fambo. He said no one, the same thing you said, no one heard about anything about Fambo, but he does have a chance to play for Long Island or go back to China. So they have a chance, but on a two-way, I have no idea what the Nets are going to do with that two-way because, like you said, I thought they would go Fambo, and I'd rather have Fambo on a two-way than Grant Nelson. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the idea of who or what they trying to get on a two-way. I don't know, because you know what I'm saying. Like, they got EJ Liddell out of nowhere, and no one even knew who he was. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's a question
Exactly.
that I don't have the answer to at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they keeping that two way for whatever they see out in the wire. You know.
You know what they should do? Give it to Mr. Whammy. Let's make this guy's true wishes come true. Make him a
You
part
know.
of the team. Let's go. I'm down for that. Every Brooklyn based member, hashtag Mr. Whammy final two way. Make it happen. Let's make this happen. But here's a good little segue question. We kind of covered almost every player on the team. Listen, it's some people reporting that the Nets are trying to follow the OKC model. The one correlation we have is we have all these picks, but it comes down to the talent. With Presti, he went through what Marks went through. He had a big three of Harden, Katie, Westbrook. That went to hell, and then he had to pivot after a while, and that eventually came to tanking, came to trading for a superstar in Shea, and then drafting Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams in the same draft. And then from there, in 2 years, they built it, got their vets in Caruso and Hartenstein, and they became the youngest championship of all time. We have a solid young core. I don't know if I'll say solid, but we have a very young core. The only thing is, can the talent in this young core, especially the 5+5, rise up to a level that you compare with next year's hopeful potential franchise guy to actually follow a certain model of OKC? It seems like we have a good coaching staff, but I'll ask each one of you, are we actually following that model, or are we still trying to create a direction of some identity? LM, start us off. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I think I don't know. The problem with that is like following OKC's model. It is possible to be. We could be the OKC of the East, but I just think the main difference behind that is, one is led by Presti and the other is led by
Yep.
Sean Marks. And,
Yep.
it is a lot of difference in these guys' mentalities toward rebuilds. Um, Especially Presti in particular, sacrificing those 2 years, first getting Josh Giddey with the sixth pick, and then next year, landing the second pick in the draft. Which I hear people are saying, that may be similar as to where, OKC, they got the sixth pick. They didn't necessarily get a top three pick, but that was their guy. And then next year they got the second pick. So I've heard rumors of, little litterings of, well, maybe Brooklyn may get they Chet Holmgren next year with the second pick, or maybe better, with AJ, Cameron, Boozer, or Peterson. So it could be a formula there, but uh, I just think it all depends on the front office, our GM and the approach in terms of OKC let the young guys play. They threw them in the fire every season. Rather they were losing, but they got acclimated to the NBA. They threw Shea in the fire. They threw Josh Giddey in the fire. They threw Jalen Williams in the fire. They threw these guys out there to get acclimated to the league. Um, which is why I want us to have that approach with our rookies, to see if, let them get acclimated to the league, throw them in the fire, and let's see what we got with these guys. Um, but in terms of the OKC approach, I think there are some things that we can take from them, but copying a formula from the exact same uh plan doesn't exactly always work out the way you want it to.
Nah,
There's some
very.
things we can do, but I think
Yeah, you
sometimes
can be similar.
get
I
up
don't
and
think you
do it.
can be
Yeah,
the
we can be
same.
similar, but yeah, I
They
think
ain't gonna
it's
be the
we have
same.
to
Yep.
take our own approach as well. But
Yeah,
whatever that
Very
looks like.
foul at LM. All you had to say was they have Preston, we have Marks, and the conversation would have been done. But
I
I
don't think
appreciate you
it's
going the
that.
extra 10 minutes there. But
I
but
don't.
Scott,
I mean, it is a little bit, but the thing is, I think it's you need a little bit of luck, man. You need
mhm.
some luck. You need some luck.
I
Man,
don't.
the
Yeah,
pieces got to fall for you. Then the players got to buy in, and your coach got to
Well,
be right.
well,
And
here's a good question for you, Scott. Sean Marks has preached for 10 years. He even preached on the podcast he was on a
yeah,
few weeks ago after media day
uh,
that the ultimate goal is sustainability, using the flexibility to get new stars to want to come to Brooklyn. Yes, OKC, who he said we might follow a thing or two there, but we also have a market that is different from other markets because we share
Yeah.
one with the Knicks, and
He's
we are the
right
sixth.
though.
Yeah, I know, but
He,
Scott, we are the sixth of richest franchise in the
I
NBA.
know. I know.
$6.6 billion. I'll give it to Sean and Joe. What they lack in brain skills with developing a roster, they make up for somewhat in developing a good financial district with us. Like they've
They
done that.
inherit a borough, and you know the borough is the size of some cities. All right,
Right, right. So my
so they inherit the market. They got the market. So it's not so much that that they trying to follow OKC is you need some luck. You need some luck because the lottery is just that, a lottery. It's
so
not like, oh well, you win, you get the worst team in the league, and the lowest you get is 5. 5 is not good if you that worst team in the NBA.
No, that's very valid. But my question to you, Scott, is do you think that Sean and Joe are actually going to make sustainability mean something with this draft class? Is this where they finally put a line this in and say, listen, we're not going to do the stupid things of the past. We're not just going to go for a star when we feel like we have to. Are they actually going to
Yeah.
build something consistent that they did before going after stars and then just letting that play out? And then if there's a star or good vets available, they could bring it together and eventually win. Do you think they actually have the mindset now? Or should after this year, if next year's draft doesn't go out,
Well,
anybody probably thinks it could
Shay.
go, are we in the right to say that Sean and Joe should not be here after next year if next year's draft is a complete failure?
Well,
What are your thoughts on that?
Shea was an excellent pickup for OKC. So
Mhm.
that being said, that was on Presti. It's on Sean to get the right star, if you want
Right.
to put it that way, on this team that can work with that coach, with their coach, that they feel comfortable with. So that's on Sean and the coach to make that happen.
No,
I
very
think
valid.
Shea was the main piece, but I also think,
Yeah, it's
Chet,
teaching and
Chet was
coaching
definitely
and they buy in and stuff like that. The players, the culture. You got to show these players that you're willing to stick with them. And being shifty is not helping.
Right.
Yes,
We
I
go
there's a
to
okay.
Japan
business.
every year.
Yes, there's a
OKC don't
business.
win that championship without Chet and Jalen though.
Yeah,
I,
and being that they were
it-
so young that it played into their favor. They don't pay
right.
him that much. They didn't need that much when Giddy was ready for that contract. They made sure to get rid of him.
But
Right.
my
So you
thing,
can't.
the only difference in plans is with Presti, like, and this is what I mean by in terms of as a GM, in terms of a vision, in terms of sacrificing Presti that year. Let OKC know. Now I think that was the year with Jabari, Paulo, and what's his name, and Shet. Uh, let OKC know, like, hey, this is not a year where you guys are going to see a lot of wins. This is going to be a year of player development. I think at that time we had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. We had our guys.
We had our
So we
run.
wasn't, yeah, so we wasn't really in, losing mode.
Right.
But
Right.
they took their time. They took patience. They wasn't in, oh, let's get a quick star real quick because Brooklyn and all these
I
guys are
yeah.
contending. They
I
they
think Sean is
stayed
doing
patient.
that now. I
Um,
honestly believe that that's what he's doing.
If we get a top pick in next year's draft, then we know he's doing things the right way. But like you said, Scott, a draft's
I mean,
unpredictable. But for the Brooklyn Nets, it is necessary at this point. But let me just go to Ice for 1 second. Ice, we do have a connection with OKC. We have about 2 more picks than they do with 32 picks. But another connection is we signed AC Law in the offseason, who I think is now their head of player development. Can AC Law be an integral part of Brooklyn's drafting future going forward? And a part of building their core identity as a roster? Do you think AC Law could be that connection to us to maybe not fully follow OKC, but be on a level where we're building something respectable and sustainable? What are your thoughts on that, Ice?
Yeah, I think he was there 2 years or 3 years while they was in that process of doing that. So he's got to have some insight, got to have some
Mhm.
understanding. You know what I'm saying? Got to have some hands on if he is head of scouting. So you know what I'm saying? He got to know something about something, and they probably needed him for this draft. You know what I'm saying? Not the next one, but
Right.
it's all good. You know what I'm
right.
saying? They got him now. He's in the building, so he could possibly help direct what direction or how to do certain things with the players in drafting as far as that, or getting players in the building to complete whatever they're trying to complete as a roster. So he may be a good pickup. I'm not sure. I seen, people talking about him and saying that he was there and he was the head for them. So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully the Brooklyn Nets are trying to do something, or they feel like they missed out on something, or they didn't come to a full agreement on something. That's why they went and got him. You know what I'm saying? That when now that he's available.
No, for sure. It'll be interesting to see what this team really can be after next year's draft. Because then you have a core six, and that will be your model going forward. With whatever we add with vets, or there's a star out there, it'll be interesting to see if the next development, the next 2 years is super crucial. But here's another good question. I checked some of our financials for next year. The Nets are projected to have over $44 million in cap space. Let's say in a perfect world we get top four, whether it's an AJ, a Boozer, an Amont, or a Peterson. What do the Nets do with that $44 million of cap space? Do they go after a vet or two to try to build a winning habits to get into a play-in, or they go swinging for a big fish like a Greek freak? Like, Ellen, I'll start with you. What do the Nets do if they somehow hit the mother load and get their franchise guy in next year's draft with that cap space?
Um, um, man, I don't necessarily, in terms of the star, Chase. I mean, I feel like you can, but I mean, you'll run into the same problem. Like even with AJ, Cameron Boozer, or Darren Peterson, you're pretty much, these guys are rookies. They never played a minute in the NBA. It's going to take a lot of
Word.
accumulating. You have your franchise guy, of course. I mean, I would love either one of those three on this team. I feel like it would be a step in the right direction. And we will have our franchise player. It's just, these guys are also going to be rookies. So, I mean, you will be asking Giannis or whoever, that's a heavy load, take rookies to playoffs. It would just be so out of, I think, reach for a superstar or a star of any kind, um, to just pair them up with a first round pick and then, make magic out of that. I think realistically, I don't know if they what to do, what they would do with the money, but I would probably say, spend that on, guys that can help accumulate AJ, hopefully AJ Boozer or Darren Peterson, surround them with a roster that could possibly, help them in terms of maybe 2027 be the year we that 26-27 season we make a play in, be above 500, and let AJ or whoever we get, let them figure out themselves in the NBA, let them grow into their own stars and not necessarily be second fiddle to, the aging stars out there. Let them build their own path, let them carve out their own path for Brooklyn and let them just grow. Same thing with Paulo on Orlando, same thing with Ann on Minnesota, same thing with Wemby on San Antonio. These guys, Orlando and none of these teams, went to star chase and pair these guys up with any of these superstars. They just let them grow into their own person. And,
That's
that's where they are right now. So that could be
that
the
that's a
approach that we do.
That's a great answer, LM. LM, you should be the coach. I should be the head scout, and me and Scott should be the owners. I feel the four of us together, we would get this team six championships. We would pull off a Jordan because we understand this game clearly a lot more than current management. But Scott, LM brought an interesting point. 2027, it seems like a year that a lot of teams, Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, even us, are preparing for the possibility that if next year's draft someone doesn't go perfectly how the Nets want to, or some other teams, there are big fish potentially available in 2027. Donovan Mitchell, Joker, even Giannis. Like, do the Nets bide their time and say whatever happens next year happens? We use that as a time to maybe get into a play and maybe add some vets, but 2027 is where we make the big splash. Is that something that this organization is possibly thinking about as far as development goes and winning goes?
I think when you start talking about big fish,
Mhm.
They pick where they want to go, and it ain't so much that you decide. Oh, okay, I got the cap space. I'm the
Mhm.
only one with the cap space, and he's gonna come here. No, that's not how it goes. These players are empowered, especially the big fish. So if they don't want to come to Brooklyn, they ain't coming. I don't care what you do. So you have to already show that you got something going on. That's why these rookies are very important. Somebody got to come out of this pack with something to show. Something got to show, something got to shake. You know, you
So
can't sit back and go, okay, let me see if these rookies will get it. Yeah, you have no choice but to see now at this point. But yeah, picking like 1 through 4 in the next draft would solidify some kind of, and then they got to show. Then you really, like I said, you need a lot of things to fall in place.
so
I
according
think 2026. I don't like with the money that probably re-sign some people. I'm not sure,
Right,
but
you're gonna re-sign a
I
couple
think
of people.
we should give a year for if by the
Yeah,
grace of God, AJ, Nathan Boozer, or
or one of them
Peterson
land
get on
here.
the team. Give them a year to see who they are,
Yeah, and then you got
what
to give them
these
a
guys
year.
are. Then
You got to
next
give
year,
them.
if you see, okay, we got somebody, then
Yep.
you can probably start chasing and add a
Looking.
piece to that
Yeah. But you got to
and
remember,
start
these
looking.
guys are getting old, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they
No,
like,
KD's what 37, LeBron
yeah. I mean,
40,
he ain't
Giannis
probably
in his
one more
30s,
year with him.
Jokic is
so
in
2
his
so
more years.
30s.
so according to Scott, we got to tell the Koch family to buy this whole team from Joe Desai right now before Doomsday happens. I
I
agree
don't
with you,
know
Scott
because
Hawley.
sometimes throwing money at it doesn't necessarily mean wins, and we've been down that road.
We've
Yeah,
been down that road. Matt Ishiba's been down that
We
road, but
we've been down that throw the money at everything and get
right.
anybody that's
yeah. We
free.
seen how that Bill Booker KD experiment went.
Yeah, and we seen how it went before then with Paul Pearson now. That
Right.
doesn't work, dude. That
Yeah,
doesn't work.
You know what's
That doesn't
ironic
work.
about that? We created the CBA before the CBA was created, so that's very interesting you bring that up. But to Ice, I mean, we talked about on your show a little beginning into what next year's draft class could be like. I mean, the Bonsa, Peterson, Boozer, the strengths not only overlapping but very rare. I mean, you look at the Bonsa, it looks like an alpha athlete out there, or of maybe a Jordan LeBron. You see Peterson, potentially one of the best combo guards in this 21st century of a draft class, and then you have Cam Boozer, who physically looks not only impressive, but he plays winning basketball almost on every level. So if we do hit next year's jackpot with one of these top 3 guys, and somehow we're preparing for 2027 get a big fish, I mean, Ice, in a perfect world, are the Brooklyn Nets preparing to hit big on next year's draft and go full on winning in 2027? What are your thoughts on that? Ice, your mic's a little staticky.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can. Now we can, Ice.
All right. So I think that's the strategy they want to go for. I know they want to keep it clean and professional. They want to be competing a lot. You know what I'm saying? But they also want to, you know what I'm saying, not put themselves not in a position not to try to get at least top 5 this time. You know what I'm saying? I think last year that they thought they did a pretty decent job of trying to do that and it didn't go right. You know what I'm saying? Talking about according to Ellen and Pod, like the way you guys do it is a certain way to get top 5. But they thought doing the right thing and being, you know what I'm saying, competing and showing that they're not trying to tank. You know what I'm saying? They're actually trying to win games that it, you know what I'm saying? They were panning out right. So this time I think they might take a different approach. And Joe Side did say he want to, you know what I'm saying, get a top draft pick in 26. I think that's the right idea because the way they building the team, you could possibly put AJ, Cam, Nate, you know what I'm saying, even DP in this offense, and all of them. I think all of them will work. You know what I'm saying, as far as how they trying to play. We don't have a franchise guy, and one of them possibly could be a franchise guy. And my pick so far is between, you know what I'm saying, Nate, AJ, and Cam Boozer. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what they do with Cam, but, you know what I'm saying, DP too. You know what I'm saying? But I think we need a big wing like AJ on this team or Nate.
Yeah, I agree. I think we definitely need a we need a wing on this team for sure. Like a definitive wing. Like if it's AJ, Naderman, or Boozer, I'm fine with it. But we definitely need some sort of wing on this team. Especially to pair up with Yegor in, company. We definitely gonna need that. But I mean, who knows? Like it all comes down to the pick. Like, wouldn't it be funny if freaking we got the third pick and then Sean Marks with like Kareem Lopez or something? Like,
Yo, that's been a name they've been shouting for the last 2 years or 3 years, bro.
He do something like that, I'll kill him.
He probably, if we
Yo, he
got the
gotta
fourth or
go.
fifth pick, he probably would go for Kareem at 4 or 5.
Yeah, wow. I'll be mad
yeah,
as hell, man.
man, are you crazy? I'll throw a fit.
Yeah, he would have to leave he would have to leave Brooklyn. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. I think for me, like I think top three is where I aim because necessarily, yes, he can't do no wrong. Like it's kind of like if you get the first pick, like if this was 2003, the first pick is LeBron. Like
Right.
there's no way you would choose any other prospect.
No
Like if
way.
you do, you get fired. So
Right.
realistically, I just think for him, it makes his job easier. Like you don't gotta necessarily
Scout.
overthink it.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah, you
overthink
just
that shit.
choose the guy and then get out of it.
Yeah,
Like
you seen it. You
that's
seen what he was capable of doing already to everybody in the league in college. So I mean, come on, it's no brainer. You're going to take him, you know.
yeah.
So
Which
like you
is why I
said, the
was
top
hoping
three,
this draft. Right. This is what I was hoping this draft, but
top three.
I
That's it.
think yeah, that would be the plan. If by the grace of God we land there, make his job easier. Does
Yeah,
either choose
like I said,
Boozer, Peterson, or
yeah,
AJ
yeah.
and
AJ,
get
either
out there.
one, either three, and then you
Yeah.
say to yourself, okay, you know what? If you don't get the top three, say you get, like you say, you the worst team in the league, or you the second worst team in the league, and you get the top six. If you get the sixth pick, then you have to be creative. That's when your
Yeah.
creativity comes into play. But if you're in the top three, you're gonna pick them.
But the
And
ice
that's a
point
no
to
brainer.
me, even if Brooklyn gets six, let's say they get 6 or 5, I'm not necessarily mad because there's some good guys you can get at
Yeah, there's
5.
gonna be some good players there.
It's
I
good guys
honestly
you can
think
get at 5.
Yegor is gonna work out. I think he can
Yeah,
work out. I think it might work out. I mean, I think he might be a premier guard in this league. And I think he'd be a guard. That's what I think
right.
he's going to be. He's not going to be, oh, put him at the three. I mean, he might be switchable. That he might be. But I'm just saying, he's going to have the ball in his hand.
Right. He
You know,
definitely
and
is.
that's effective at his height because he can see over, he can see the whole court.
Yeah,
So,
6'9".
yeah,
He's
I'm
definitely
just
gonna have
saying.
he if he can get the point guard position down, that's a lot of mismatches in the East.
Ooh, they can be
There's a lot
explosive.
of
They
mismatches.
could be
I'm
explosive.
talking about I'm talking about even he's taller than Kate Cunningham.
Right.
Like you even having that mismatch in
And I
terms
don't
of
I'm not
him
even
being
asking
six
him to
on.
be like, Stockton or something like that. I'm just asking him to manage the game.
If he can be our Russian Halliburton,
Yeah,
I feel like
word.
that's a W.
That's a
Like that is
WW.
a huge W for Brooklyn.
For real. That's a
Like,
W, man. That's a W.
his jump shot looks clean, the form
Yeah.
looks clean,
Just
you
shooting
know.
close around 40% from outside, getting your 5, 7 aces or whatever. Get to the rim, buff it on a couple of people, make them think that you're gonna do that, and then pull up, hit that pull up shot, be 3 level, just be effective, and then rebound. You got the whole
Yeah.
package. You got the whole
Him, Drake
package.
Powell, being on POA.
Yep.
I think these guys. I think there's
It
a
might
lot
work,
more to
man.
them
I think it
than
might
people
work,
think.
LM. I really believe it.
Like
It
it
might
really,
work.
it could. I'm just glad we finally have especially since last year. I think everybody just been begging for a point guard.
Right.
Um,
I told you that before. I was telling the panel all year. I said I would pick a point guard. That's what I did.
yeah,
I would pick a point guard, man, because wings are, I
I
mean,
know
there's
it's gonna say
plenty of
three,
wings,
but
but you would want a wing from the draft at a high pick because the wings
right,
at in like 1, 2, 3, if they're in the top three and they are wing, they usually very, very good. Like
right,
they very good. You know what I'm saying? Like they can get theirs. So it
exactly,
makes them effective with a really good guard. It makes them real effective. That way they don't have to
exactly.
focus on dribbling the ball, distributing, or they don't need assists. They just got to get theirs, get their rebound, and be the focal point of the offense where they have to be doubled. That means the guard can do whatever he want on the court.
Hmm, exactly.
And
It
then,
would make sense to, and I think the front court is really, I feel like what's missing for the team. Like MPJ is cool, but I
yeah,
think we need a definitive wing on this
my
team.
thing with him is that when I saw that thing with him talking about his back and I get it, injuries are injuries. They could be devastating. But my thing is, you said you went away to contemplate whether you wanted to play. What? What? I'm not saying that's not nothing wrong with it. Maybe you was in that state of mind that I mean, then your commitment to the game can be shattered. And then, I'm not saying that you will go on the court and actually stink it up because your commitment ain't there, but if it ain't there, it ain't there.
True.
So maybe you should, you know, after this year, pack it up. I
Nah,
don't
his
know.
his commitment is there. It's just, like you said, your mind might take you places with that injury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
You,
get it. I get
yeah,
it because it's not like he's leaving and he's gonna be destitute. He got dough. He got his money. He gonna get his money this year too. So he ain't broke. He's gonna be good. He's generationally good right now. So I'm saying if you really not committed to this hustle, because it's gonna be hard when you. There's gonna be times when he's gonna probably say, my back is a little tight. I don't. Feel like playing. I mean, what commitment can you give a team other than being a hired gun like KD? KD the hired gun.
That is true. Now, at this point, you're gonna have to figure some things out in terms of, and then he said, "Now I don't know how long I'm gonna play."
Right. He said a lot
Like
of
it's
things that made me question him. Like as a GM, I would have been like, I'll still get you, but whew, you making me sleep. You making me not sleep tonight. I'm up all night thinking about it.
nah. I mean, that might be something that he's been pondering on. He don't know how long. Like I said about Ben, you don't know how long his back is going. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
but
going
how
to
did
hold
he?
out.
Well,
And,
see, but with Ben,
huh?
Ben, Ben came into the team with his back already messed up.
Yeah. So
How
did
you how you can't how you make a trade with somebody already injured? You don't do
nah,
that in
but
the
but
NBA.
MPJ came into the league already hurt. He
I
came
know
into the.
that. That's different.
Nah, it's the
But
same.
Ben didn't come into the league hurt.
Yeah, but he ended up hurt,
Yeah,
and the
but how
team
you trade for a hurt player? I
because he
thought you're
wasn't.
supposed
He
to
didn't have
pass the
because Ben didn't.
physical.
Ben
I
didn't
thought
have
that
the
was a rule
surgery
with
yet.
the NBA.
No,
That's not
no,
a rule with the team.
no. Ben didn't have a surgery yet. You know what
Oh,
I'm
see.
saying? Ben was on the verge of being to the point where he needed surgery. So lifting weights put him at the verge of needing surgery. You know what I'm saying? That's
So,
what.
but I
That's
mean,
what
but
that,
then you don't you have to get checked with your team doctor before you get traded?
his back was good enough to pass the physical, but after 3 months or 2 months later, that's when his back fully went out. And when his disc fully bulged or went to herniation. So, you know what I mean? Like his back could have been fine, but it could have been irritated, and then him lifting and practicing and doing all
Yeah.
that stuff pushed it over the
Didn't
edge.
they approve the trade? Like, from what I heard with Ben, like we approved the trade knowing that Ben back
Was
was
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah, that's
Nah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
That's what
no.
I'm
Like,
saying. I thought, we know Sean is good for giving. Listen, if I was a
No,
basketball player,
I'm
I'd be
a,
looking for Sean Marks if I had an injury.
nah, I will explain it
Sean is
again.
one of those coaches, one of them GMs that'd be like, "What? You lost
I'm
a
a,
kneecap?
hold
No
on, nah,
problem.
I'm
Come
gonna
on, I got
explain
10
it.
million for you."
Hey, Ben told Philly that his back was hurting, but just because your back is hurting don't mean you can't pass a physical. You can
Right,
pass
right.
a
I know what you
physical.
mean. I know what you
Yeah.
mean. I know what
So
you mean.
yeah.
so they didn't approve, you know what I'm saying? They didn't approve the trade with him being his disc being herniated. They wouldn't have did that because they would have known he had to have surgery. He would stay in Philly. So it was good enough so he can pass. And like I said, you took it, they took it, you know what I'm saying? They said, all right, you know what I'm saying? And then he ended up to the point where he couldn't play. So he in the same spot as
Chance they
MP.
took, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. He in the same spot as MPJ. That's why I'll be talking about the back injuries that they ain't no joke.
No,
You know
no,
what I mean?
that's the same thing with Katie. Katie had his surgery, but he wasn't ready. But they still made the trade. They paid him for a year.
Yeah.
But that's KD.
Right.
They took a shot with KD.
They
That was
don't
worth a roll.
they
I mean,
they
even though Ben was worth it too, kind of. Because if Ben was the Ben we saw when he came in the league,
so Ben, the problem with Ben is he came back from the first surgery too early. And in the second surgery took all his athleticism away. He couldn't get it back. So that's what happened with him. He rushed it and they rushed him to come back after the first surgery earlier than he was supposed to. He was supposed to stay out longer, and he didn't, and that caused him to have the second surgery.
oh,
I
damn.
don't know. I just felt like after that Trey Young stuff, like Miz was not the same. Like I just felt like mentally he was just gone.
Well, he
Especially with the
had
way Philly was dogging him and Doc Rivers and B was
yeah.
building on
Yo,
him.
yo, my
Like
bad,
he was just
John.
out of here.
Yo, my bad, John. I tried to put my daughter to sleep and I fell asleep.
No, that's
Yo,
all
it's
right.
all
Oh
good.
my God.
We're just holding it
Nah, we
Yeah,
down.
that's
held it
beautiful.
down.
I've done that
He
You
many
rocked
got
a time.
himself to
Queen as
sleep.
well.
Yo,
He
my
rocked
bad.
No, we
himself to
held it
sleep.
down for you. We held it down, man.
Nah, I
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
appreciate you,
rocked
I've done
Ella.
the
himself to
exact same
sleep.
thing a million times.
Word. Shit, I missed a
He
good
rocked
show. I gotta
himself.
play this back. I gotta see what I missed, man.
Dang. Almost
Yo,
got to
John,
close out too,
Hold
I
on,
man.
just got here. Did y'all
Bond
talk
throwing
about
on
the
the panel.
contracts?
What up, yo?
John moderates your whole show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
John was moderating. You gotta give it to
That's
him,
it,
man.
John.
He was
John's still on the
moderating.
panel.
Shout
John
out to
right there.
John.
There you go, John. Damn, John was right there.
Yo, Breeze, did y'all
Oh,
talk about the new contracts everybody been getting?
Yeah,
Nah,
we touched him. We
nah.
just
yeah,
touched
I
him.
had got into that early when I was there. Yeah.
Breeze
Breeze
just
touched him.
flabbergasted about Christian Braun's contract. Yo, I was
I am
weak.
too.
Y'all never seen Christian Braun play?
125
Who?
million.
Y'all
What
never
the
seen
hell?
4 years,
5 years, 125 mil.
They gave him
Bruh,
25 a year.
he ain't built like that. He built
Nah,
like that.
he
y'all.
ain't
I
25
I
mil.
gotta disagree with y'all. I'm sorry, Christian Braun.
You think
I
Christian
don't
Braun is
disagree. I don't disagree. I think he is well deserved.
Yo,
you
he
think he
played.
worth
He's a
25 mil a
two-way
year?
play. I think if you
Well,
look at the
when you think
contracts
about it,
and
it's
you
not
look at
that
who's
He
bad.
getting
got
money,
one season when he started and he had 77 games, bro. Like he's available. Availability, the best ability. Shit, they paid
Yeah,
him for
that
that
is
shit.
true.
and he
The now
plays
the
and
three
he
and
plays
D,
balls
the
out.
three and D twos, the
Pause.
wings, the Dyson Daniels, like it's
Yeah,
value
they
among the
worth it.
league.
They worth it. They worth
There's
it.
value among the league. That
Right, yeah.
Yo, they only got
they
I
gonna
just
they
25
gonna
preached the
mil.
wing
that's gonna
thing,
get
didn't
these
I?
guys paid. Like
Didn't I
Yo,
just
can't it's the
preach the
same thing
wing
with
thing?
what Gilbert Arenas was saying, like with Cam Thomas, like his play style is valuable to Brooklyn. But
Yeah,
around the league, Dyson Daniels, you seen it. These guys is
yeah,
getting paid because they provide a valuable skill set
yeah. They do.
that's going to make their team better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Atlanta
yeah.
is going to be a dog for years with Dyson Daniels now.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah,
multiple decoys.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
if he
yeah.
bet on the offensive end, beautiful too. Jalen Johnson, they locked up. Nickel Alexander Walker, they locked up. I'm pretty sure they probably going to extend Trey Young along the way. Only person that didn't get extended was Tari Eason, which
They built
I would
around
be
a team
surprised.
around Trey of dudes who could play defense for him. The
Right.
whole rest of the team is a lead at defense. Like these are the strategies that I see teams have, and I go, okay, they got a strategy, they got a plan.
Right.
Oh,
They
they
got a
got a
vision.
strategy, they got a
They got
plan.
a vision.
I still don't know what the Nets are doing. They drafted a bunch of dudes who could pass. I don't know what that
Well,
means.
just because we don't know, don't mean they don't have a vision, though.
I know, but it just
No.
for
Okay.
10 and a half years, I've been watching this very, very closely.
It's been all over the place, though. I can tell
They
you
just
that.
be winging it. Like
Well, it can be disruptive when you have superstars on your team. If you
yeah.
really have a vision, but you know
When you have
KD and Kyrie
superstars on
is
your team and you
available,
have no
and you know
will,
what I'm saying, what
when
you gonna do? You gonna pass on KD and Kyrie? Honestly, if KD didn't get hurt, honestly, I think they would have won the title that year. Be
uh,
honest.
that's what I believe
Or
as a
even
Nets
be in
fan.
the
That doesn't
Eastern
make it
Conference
true.
Finals.
You got to win the title. You have to actually win the thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, are you going to take that chance? Would you take that
Of course,
chance?
of
I
course.
would.
But I'm not gonna take that chance and put Claxton at center. I'm not
Well,
gonna
I
take
mean,
that
that
chance
didn't
and
hurt
trade Kemba
them
Walker.
really. It didn't
I'm
really
not gonna
hurt
take.
them.
I'm not
I'm
gonna
talking about
take that
like as
chance.
far as
I'm not gonna
KD
take
and
that chance
Kyrie
and have
being on the
Timothy Luwawu
team.
Cabarro as my sixth man.
I
This
mean, listen, yeah, that's true. But I mean, you know,
They should have put a better roster around those
yeah, I
guys.
mean, they
yeah.
They
tried. I
should
mean,
have. They
teams
should have
ain't
put a
gonna,
way better roster around those guys.
yeah, I mean,
The one
If you're
thing
talking about
I didn't
KD
like the
and these
coach. I
guys,
didn't like the coach, be
you go
honest with
all
you.
out.
that's
You
the
don't
biggest
put
mistake
Claxton
Mark
as
made.
center.
I didn't
You don't
like the
put Claxton
coach.
as center, and then that's it. You go
I
all out. You find your guy.
I
You don't
thought
go out there and experiment with
I'll be
all of these
honest with you,
dudes.
LM. I didn't like the coach. I didn't think the coach was
The
right.
coach, if they pick,
I
I
thought
believe
the
if they picked
assistant
Ime,
coaches were better than the coach.
Scott, if they hired Ime, they would have 2 championships right now.
Right. This is what I'm saying because
Right.
you had 2 stars and you could have told Harden, listen, man, stay here, man. I'm gonna
And the
pay you
same
whatever.
shit and
He
that
wouldn't.
pisses me off because the same
He
shit
wouldn't have
Ime
left.
is doing for Houston. It's the same shit that could have been happening here. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yep.
that really pisses me off about this organization in general. Just the mindset that these guys have is just it's mind blowing to me. And
Yo,
like I just I'll never not support the Nets. I'm stuck. It's a parasite. I'm cursed. I'm sure we all gonna be
not
net
parasite.
we all gonna be Nets fans in here to the day we die. Like it is
Yep.
what it is. But
Yeah, yeah, that's
you
pretty
you
much.
still will be upset at what the front office is doing. Like to your team,
Yep.
the team that you got to walk to Barclays and step in to watch
Yep.
Yeah.
to
Yep.
buy merch. You
Yep.
get tired of seeing this shit, knowing that this team can execute the plan that these other rosters have been doing for the past few years,
Preach.
and it frustrates you because you know they can do it. It's just they don't, and it gets
Tabernacle.
to a point. Exactly, like it's so frustrating. But I'ma still see a game though. It ain't gonna stop me. I'm gonna still buy merch because it's my team and I love and it's Brooklyn. But you can still be frustrated with the way that the general manager and these guys is moving.
I
Like
just thought, he missed on 1 or 2 things when that team was together and it cost him. It cost them. It really did. It cost them. You
He
went all
stopped
the way
working.
you went all the way there to miss
He
just
stopped
1 or 2
working once he got
pieces.
the superstars. Once he
Yeah,
got the
you
superstars,
had
he had
the
it in his
team
mind
because we
like he
seen
could
them
throw
play.
anything around them.
They was unstoppable. They
yeah,
was unstoppable. We
Yeah,
saw
but
it.
good
I
team,
know that.
championship teams has parts in
Chemistry.
it that can step in and keep the thing going. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
when you
Like
have
they
chemistry,
had
you
Jeff
got those little
Green,
scrubs. Don't be scrubs no more.
right? Jeff Green, that surrounding team just I like shows you that Sean Mark's not ready for prime time. He he had a chance to one hire Ime, two he had a chance to trade for homeboy from Orlando, Aaron Gordon. He didn't do it. He didn't pull the trigger, right? He said he's playing modern basketball, so he tried that small ball shit. Meanwhile, Aaron Gordon was the last missing piece for Denver to win a championship. Imagine
Sure
you had
no.
Aaron Gordon instead
But
of
when did he have a chance to get Aaron Gordon?
trade deadline, the year of
Trade
the year
deadline. They used on Orlando.
exactly.
Okay.
He
Yeah, I
and
remember
look
too.
look at what Denver paid for him. They
Yeah,
paid
nothing, little
basically
to
Look
nothing.
nothing.
what right. Look what they
You know what I'm
got
saying?
him for. Like
You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
Nets
nasty
never
work.
had size up front. They played KD at power forward, which is the most retarded shit I've ever heard
right.
of.
You put him as
They
shooting forward.
right,
Can
you
you
take
imagine
away
Aaron Gordon with KD in the lineup?
Right.
That Aaron Gordon?
they
Yeah.
win the champ they win the championship anyway if they made that one fucking move.
Yeah, that would have gave them room for injury or whatever, you know.
That's why what I can't take with this dude. I really I'm gonna tell Joe Tsai every morning on Twitter, yo, you gotta hire Masai Ujiri. He know how to build a championship. The league respects them. Right now, your whole organization is a laughing stock. You, your choice one should be go ask Presti what he want. If he need half of China, you get it from him. If he say he's willing to come, if Presti say he's not willing to come, then you go get Masai Ujiri. He on the sidelines waiting for somebody to come pick him up. Go get Masai Ujiri and bring some respectability to the organization because the entire league is looking at this Nets organization and what we've done, and they think we're a joke. And that's not cool. We're Brooklyn. Like this is my home. My home's name is on your chest. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm
what I'm
with the city of
saying.
y'all. And y'all can't represent our borough that way. And I'm nice. I'm not mean. I'm not disrespectful. But and I know somebody reads the tweets for him. I'm just gonna be consistent because the team has too much potential. Like my wife walked past the exhibit with all the basketballs of every team, and she's looking at it. And she's like, she calls me. She's like, yo, your friend did the thing. Your friend did the thing. I was like, he's not my friend. He just tagged up in Williamsburg. But what is dope about that is that when they first did those Cars jerseys, I barked on I barked on Josiah. I said, with all the Brooklyn graffiti artists out there, you chose some guy that just throws shit up in museums that nobody respects. Like I mean, cause is an investment, not actual example of graffiti. This is Brooklyn. You could have got any Brooklyn artist. And
That makes
years
sense.
later, they do that ball and they do the New Jerseys with real graffiti artists with real graffiti script, like I grew up on, and it represents Brooklyn. That's dope. Those are the dope things that they can do. He could fix this
Yeah.
team if he just go get a professional GM. That's all. That's all I ask. I don't think that's too much.
I mean,
For real.
my thing is, like I said, I think he should move over to food and beverages like Sam Rothstein. You know what I'm saying? He could take any job. He's a serious. Like he don't fire yourself. You
Food and
just
beverages,
take
right?
a different position. You could be still you could be the president of the Brooklyn Nets. You
Cheerleader
could be the
group.
governor. You could be a lot of the different jobs. Just don't be the GM. Just
I
like
hope he make them prices go down if he was in charge. Cause I ain't gonna lie, a bottle of water that high is crazy, bro. Like, do something about that.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that at first. It wasn't like that at
Definitely
first.
wasn't.
It was. I was like, and at first I was like, this is so much. I was so used to
you
MSG,
hold
and
let
MSG
me
has always been expensive.
hold on. You had brung up email. I had seen a quote, and he said it was flattering. I'm. This is not verbatim.
Mhm.
He was like, it's flattering to see teams are following the way they lineup is with two bigs. So I think they got Saloon at the 4, and they got Steven Adams at the 5. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, because
So
when the league was trying to
yeah,
go small ball, he went big, and he always like drafted and got players like Boucher and Siakam. He was the one that was preaching length the whole time, pause. And
They got KD at the 2, man.
but that's how you knew that wasn't his draft pick that they took this year. They took Colin
Reed
for
Shepard. Oh yeah, Coleman.
yeah, they took him. As soon as they took him, I was like, oh shit, they're gonna fire Masai. Because Masai don't take undersized power forwards. And Noah Senge was right there, and I know he knows Noah Senge, and I know he knows Kamen Malawach. And he didn't pick either one of those players. I was like, nah. Nah, he's out of there. And the next day he was fired. The next day. Like, we can't fire Sean Morris, but we firing him. We can't, we don't have, they firing him. Like a new owner wants to do his own thing. You know,
me personally, hold on. Before I end the stream, I wanted to say thank you, John, for holding it down.
No problem, bro. No problem.
Yeah.
Breezy, I had a question for you before you bounced.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, so you saw the starting squad the Nets are starting, right? How do you think that's a good a good platform for the players' development is keeping them out of the starting lineup?
I want Diego to start.
Yeah, I want Diego to start.
If he don't, I really want him to start. I want Diego to start, and I want Drake Powell to be the sixth man. Right away, you're getting two guys in early minutes. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't think Danny Wolf should start?
I don't know if Danny Wolf is ready.
They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that over Clax.
I don't think you're going. You got Clax. You paying him $100 million. You're not going to bench Clax. You're not gonna. Even if you get Danny as the next sub for Clax, that's smart. I think they should be the next subs. I don't think they should necessarily start unless they're Diego. But yeah, they should. As soon as Clax come out, Wolf come in. As soon as MPJ come out, you know what I'm saying? Throw somebody else in there. That's a rookie. Ben Saraf, somebody. But yeah, I want them to get minutes. I want all of the rookies to get 20+ minutes a game. You know, or any rookie they got in the Brooklyn. Or if not, send them to the Long Island Nets. You already got the fans. They already bought in and said they want to see the rookies, see what they're gonna do. So showcase it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want
especially Diego. Like I want Diego to be playing at least 28 minutes per game.
Hell yeah.
If you throw him into the fire, I don't care. It is a matter of him. If you're gonna playing the point guard position, let him get acclimated to it.
Yeah.
They started Edgecombe on Philly. 34 minutes immediately.
And look at how much time they're giving not only Edgecombe, they're giving Ace Bailey, they're giving these guys time in the preseason to develop. We acted like we was a championship team. You know what? Because I guess because Jordy coached that or was an assistant at winning teams, I think that might just be the only format he knows or some shit. Like he's not. I don't know if he like. I'm trying to understand if he's a player development coach because I went and looked at all the teams how they behaved in the summer and all of them was interesting. If you were top 15, you got 24 minutes plus a game. Like a good example is Hanson Yang. Everybody in here think Hanson Yang is so good, but you know what? In 6 minutes less, with 6 minutes less, and remind you, Hanson Yang is behind Klingon. They have bigs in Portland. Portland is a stacked team now, stacked with young players. And Hanson Yang was getting minutes, even though he's not going to start over Klingon. Even when they go small ball, he's not going to start. So for them to give him so much minutes, everybody's hyping Hanson Yang, giving them props like, oh, y'all had the best off season, blah, 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 blah. But Danny Wolf, if you just played him, he's a human highlight with these passes. He's strong.
He played 2 out of 4 games, I think. I think I seen him play.
He played 3 out of 4, and
3 out of 4,
and one of them was that Hopwell joint. where he barely got the ball. But regardless, I'm just saying there's nobody in front of him. Like we're not a championship team. We're not practicing in the preseason to go on a championship run. We're practicing to develop the players. And I just
hold on, my fault, Pot. Yeah, it's around that time. You know what I'm saying?
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you good. Shout to Big Priest. He joined the panel, man. I gotta call it a night. I gotta be up early. Shout to everything Brooklyn Nets John for holding it down. He was the moderator. I'm gonna listen to the show on the playback. Shout to Brooklyn LM. Shout to Scott. Shout to Ice. Follow Ice. Subscribe to Ice on the Brooklyn Nets podcast. As y'all already know, like I said, I was holding it down on dad duty. The fans still held it down. Again, why I say Nets fans is the best fans. We